Hi everybody, happy May Day, May the 1st. I've been out working in the hoop house most of the day so far, so I thought I'd give you a little look at what I've been up to. I think it's been 11 days since I last showed anything happening in here. We've gone through 5 days of relatively cold weather, quite sunny and warm in the daytime, but down as low as -1 at night. So I had a lot of the more delicate plants like the pepper plants that are already in the beds, and my artichokes were covered with spun bonded row cover fleece, and they seem to have made it through. Today I have been planting and transplanting all of the seedlings for my plant sale, charity plant sale, which I hope will be around the first week of June. I bought 300 3.5-inch pots. I've already used about 3/4 of them, and all I have got transplanted and seeded out in here so far are plants for vegetable gardens and herb gardens. I have a lot of plants for flower gardens that are getting close to the stage where they have to be picked out and put in individual pots. They're under lights in the house, so it looks to me like I've got to buy more plants. I hope this is as successful as I think it's going to be. If not, I don't know what I'm going to do with all the leftover plants here. Anyway, we will see. I held a charity sale a number of years ago. That one was for War Child Canada. This particular one is for friendsforzambia.org. I know 2 of the 3 women who founded this NGO, and they have built a school in Zambia, in Africa. The official opening of the school is this July. It's been in use now for several years, with parts of it under construction every year, enlarging it and building on more classrooms and whatever. But they're ready for the official opening, so my sale, 100% of the proceeds will go to the school to use for whatever they want to use it for. I'll put a link down below to their website. You can have a look at that, and I'll put a plug-in for them. For $25 a month, you can pay the annual tuition for a student whose family can't afford the tuition. I think the charity itself would prefer to have the school tuition free, but the law in Zambia is all schools are by tuition only. So it costs about $300 a year for a student, which when you get into a third world country, $300 is a lot of money. For us, I guess we'd hardly notice it, $25 a month. But anyway, have a look at the website, and if you're anywhere in the area, stay tuned for my big plant sale here. Just a look at these beds here. That's the peas, still continuing to grow quite nicely. No blossoms yet, and I expect blossoms soon because these are dwarf. They're not supposed to get more than 18 inches tall, and they're probably 10 inches tall now. I haven't picked out this kale yet, but I'm going to. I'm going to harvest the leaves as soon as I think there's enough there to make a good sized serving, and then I'm going to transplant my shallots, at least part of my shallots in that area. These are the 2 romaine lettuce again that I started from seed sometime in the winter. And next to that are the 2 New Zealand spinach plants, which I gave all that wonderful rating to the last time about they don't bolt or go to seed and everything. Well, both of them have had little yellow blossoms on them, but they're continuing to grow. These are some things here that are yet to go in pots for the sale. And there's those radish again. These are flats for myself. I'm starting my beets inside, and then I transplant them out. I have horrible luck growing beets, but anyway, give it another try. Leftover peppers that I didn't put in the beds in here, and they're certainly going to be really root bound by the time I have the plant sale, so they're going to be put into larger pots so that they'll be still decent. Next to that are the shallots, and then this is, see that? That's one of my 2 grapevines, which is doing very well. Both grapevines made it through the winter, survived me transplanting them even later on in the winter, and they're leaving out, so I feel very good about that. Bed number 2. The tulips are still budding out and looking quite nice and still being watched by the plant cam. I found the packaging. I didn't realize I'd saved it, and there were 20 bulbs. They didn't all come up, but I still count 22 blossom buds. Some of them were varieties that produce more than one bud, I guess, at a time. Anyway, the rest of this bed are sweet peppers and hot peppers. These are the 2 capsicums that spent the winter in my living room, and they weren't even under row cover here during the colder days, and they made it quite nicely. And the rest of the bed has peppers going down both sides, several varieties of sweet and of hot chili peppers. The 3 terracotta pots are artichokes, and the largest one, the closest one there, is going to be mine, and the other 2 will be transplanted into probably gallon-sized pots and added to the plant sale. Over beyond, my garlic. I'm very pleased with the garlic, and you probably can't see, or maybe if I zoom you can get a little look. Down the center is the row of parsnips. I still haven't thinned them, but they've come up very thickly. They've got to be thinned. But anyway, garlic and parsnips. I'll just give you a little look at my 2 fig trees, and that will end this. Hopefully you can see the green buds down there. This is the fig tree that spent the winter in the basement in the house, just dormant. It lost all of its leaves, but it wasn't out in the cold. I brought it out too early, and a lot of the buds that were starting to come out way up high got killed. But it is now budding out. Those are down quite close to the ground, but there are others that you probably can't see. They're too small to be picked out, and with this camera, if I go in any closer, the focal range on this thing is not very good, so it would become just a blur. But I've planted it in the ground, as you can see, and what's really great is the one that spent the winter out here. It's alive too. I'll give you a little look at that. Hopefully that's not all a blur, but those larger leaves down there are fig tree leaves, and there's 7 or 8 places where it is starting to leave out. It isn't actually coming from the root. It's small branches that were there last fall, and I don't know why, but they were exposed to the cold in here. They weren't under dirt or anything, but those are the only ones that seem to have survived the winter. Anyway, it made it through a winter where our coldest temperature was -17. So I'm very pleased with that. Now the excitement is on. I've got to watch this thing all summer and see if I actually get a ripe fig sometime. But the other one is in the ground along with this one, so they'll be both going through next winter. Thank you very much for watching. Comments or questions are appreciated. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you later. Just to close off with some little shots of Canadian East Coast spring. Forsythia, or as the English say, forsythia, a very hardy magnolia. Has to be now, I don't know, 12, 15 feet tall, I guess. Came out of a gallon pot and was about 2 feet tall when I planted it probably 15 years ago. It's a variety called Royal Star, not the traditional sort of saucer-shaped blossoms, frizzy blossom sort of thing, but blooms every year, and our winters don't seem to bother it at all. Of course, daffodils. I have 3 clumps, or 4 clumps, I guess, like this, in what used to be a field that I kept mowed. I don't any longer, and it has grown up. Tansy. Tansy is my curse, and I brought it here myself 25 or 30 years ago. I have tansy everywhere. But in this particular area, a lot of wild blackberries, and I pick a lot of blackberries here in summer, so I don't want to mow it or cut down the blackberries. They're a wonderful free crop from nature, but there are these clumps of daffodils that come up. Alright folks, I'm out of here. Thank you for watching. This really is the end. Talk to you next time.